I just told the guys I thought that was a really complete team effort. A game like that helps you in the long run. Hard fought. Kansas State's a good team. I know they hadn't got started like they want to. They were a super regional team last year, physical players. I thought we fought and found a way. That was the story of the game. I thought Matty had great stuff at the end. He just got to put those guys away. He had them like 1-2, 0-2 multiple times. I thought Cam in his first outing was good, and Folgers are going to only get better after that surgery. And one play where Percival flipped that ball up, but besides that, it was pretty clean baseball. And we got big hits when we needed them. So a big win for our guys, and excited for them because that was a good team we played.
I know you said you're not worried the home runs are going to come, but they still haven't come. I think last time the program got 4 straight without a home run was 2018.
Oh, you know what happened in 2018?
What happened?
We went to Omaha.
Here we go.
So
you look at it as a good omen.
You know what? This team reminds me of 2018. I told the guys yesterday that was a team actually I referenced to. It's funny you said that. That just ironically came up because this team has to have that type of toughness and play with that hard-nosed mentality, something to prove. That's the last thing I'm concerned about. I thought we hit some balls. I thought after about the first inning they gave us runs basically, but I thought Rom drove that ball really hard. But besides that, we had not really hit the ball hard, and I thought the last 4 innings were our best at bats.
I mean, Luke had a poke that went right to the wall.
Yeah, I mean, Luke's just a matter of time for somebody pops a home run. No better time than do it in the jungle, right?
What can you say to Folgers' resilience coming back in that second inning more with his stuff, his fastball command, after a little bit more of a shaky start?
Yeah, both our lefties, they had to pitch today. We had a plan, and we knew certain guys were available and certain weren't. And they were going to play 8. It wasn't the best matchup for a lefty, but they both needed to pitch. And I thought him coming back after that inning going 1-2-3 was big for him. And his command of his off speed wasn't where it needed to be, but that's usually the last thing to come. There's no doubt that it will come. I'm just impressed that he's throwing the way he is, having surgery not that long ago.
But a lot of your runs came with 2 outs, a lot of clutch hitting tonight.
Yeah, I feel like we've done that quite a bit. And in that game, I thought Texas Tech was really good, but I felt like we were in control mostly the whole time against Texas Tech. I felt like in that game, we had to find a way to get control of it, which we did later in the game. But our guys stepped up, and I felt good about Bass. Bass has had really good at-bats. Hasn't struck out much. His average is low, but average is the most misleading thing in baseball. And I just wanted him to hit the ball hard on the barrel, and that was a big hit for us.
Gavin got off the snide a little bit for a big hit.
Yeah, how good do you think that feels?
Yeah, really.
Golly.
You could tell it looked like sort of lifted off.
Man, I remember I was over 32 at North Carolina Westland and got benched, and I got a hit and run. It shouldn't be like that, but you think about that as a hitter, and that was really good for Gavin. He's played really good defense for us. And the thing about it is, it's 4 games, so I don't get caught up in who's hitting what. It's more who's having good at bats when it's the most important in the biggest situations. And I feel like for the most part we've done a pretty good job. All of our guys have done a pretty good job with that.
What went into the decision to pinch hit Mac Dye for San Angelo?
Yeah, he can really hit. So we need to get him in there anyway. It's a great matchup. His history is really good against left-handed pitchers. We were giving him a hard time because he was literally in there 10 seconds. But you're going to see more of him as the year moves along. A guy like Perry Hart, like I said, like I told our team after Texas Tech, Shea Sprague wasn't even in the mix. So there's going to be somebody else pop in that's going to help us offensively and on the mound.
How did you see Matty bounce back, coming back in that 9th inning, starting with those 2 after the 8th inning that maybe wasn't his best closer-like stuff?
You know what? I felt like his stuff, top to bottom, velocity, off speed. He didn't throw any splits, which Coach Gaines said after in the locker room he probably should have caught a couple of those to the lefties. But I thought he had great stuff, and he was ahead of everybody, and he was pounding the strike zone. He lost a 3-2 count to 1 hitter. But, he just didn't put hitters away with 2 strikes. And then that's an older guy. He goes back out, he gets to 2 strikes, and he makes his pitches instead of mistakes.
Seagraves similarly seemed to do that. He had 2 really big strikeouts, and he's young. kind of speak to his ability to do that at his second outing?
Yeah, I told him when I took him out that I was most impressed with how his stuff after just pitching, because he is a smaller kid right now. He is a freshman. And how you bounce back most of the time is decided on what type of work ethic you have. You know, are you getting in the gym on Sunday? Are you doing all your posts? Are you staying in shape to flush out all that other stuff? But he's got great stuff. So if he's in the zone, he's hard to hit, and that tells you the kid that I think was their third baseman had a really good at bat against him. But learning other things, he felt he should have. Our pitchers need to know what their best pitch is and not be afraid to go to it themselves if they need to. So he threw a slider there instead of a curveball, but he's going to be special for sure.
What was the chirping about the pitch clock?
I mean, I don't know. It wasn't our chirping. It was their chirping. But the rule's been the rule, and I think the rule is extremely clear. The hitter has until 8 seconds or on the pitch clock to get in there, and he has to have eye contact with the pitcher. If the pitcher starts before eye contact comes up, you get one warning, and the rest are balls.
Is the eye contact thing new this year, or is it like?
No, it's not new this year, but the 8 seconds is. It used to be. It used to have to be a little bit quicker. But credit to our coaching staff. We spent a lot of time on the preseason, both as pitchers and as hitters, of working on it, knowing the rule, how to use it to our advantage.
Going back to the lack of home runs, isn't it more encouraging almost that you guys are finding ways to win without that, and you're able to string hits together when it matters against Big 12 competition?
Absolutely. Well, I mean, you guys saw the arms too. I mean, we're not seeing 85 to 88 guys that just aren't good. And I feel like we've had to work to score against Texas Tech and against Kansas State. Kansas State threw some of their best guys, the same guys that they played Friday, but a lot of those guys were available today because they had 3 days rest. But yeah, I think that speaks, hey, we can find other ways, and then we should even score more when we start bopping some of those.
Two more. Can you talk a little bit more about Tyson's mentality at the plate and how it's translating to the Division I level?
I mean, you see him, he's a much relaxed kid. He looks like he's on tranquilizers when he's standing there. Half the time the bat comes out of his hand. But man, he is so talented. No moment's too big. He's very confident. And he hits the ball really hard. Like even our stronger, more physical guys, they're more physical than him, or sometime in all MVP, just how his exit velocity. What you saw when he hit that ball hard, even though it was kind of on the ground, if he barrels the ball, he's got a good chance to get on base. And that's why I'm most excited about what you said with our offense. Hitting's contagious, and we have good hitters. We've managed to go 4-0 without a ton of no home runs and not a ton of doubles, some doubles. But we've got some big hits and big situations.
They don't have brick walls at Westland behind first base.
You know what? No. And I said that exact thing to Tyson. I was like, hey, man, we're not at Bauer Field. And Angelo almost did the same thing. But those are things on a serious note that you can't do. Those little things matter, and we'll address those at practice tomorrow. That's just a mental mistake. You got to know that brick wall's there, and he does. He just got a little bit excited. But they're fun kids to be around for sure.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank y'all. Thank y'all.
Oh, fantastic. Unbelievable. One of the best days of my life.
I had to start him off with a good question.
It's a great question. It's a great question.
I mean, not much to it, just a testing midweek game. You came through in the clutch. What your teammates came through in the clutch. Just to kind of talk about, like Coach Forbes said, being able to get it done without hitting.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's going to be one of the big things with this team. Just finding a way to get on, finding some barrels. I thought our pitchers threw pretty well as well. Defense was there, which is always going to be huge for us. But kind of just focusing on the process and doing what we can do to help us win and just finding ways to get on.
You've played short your basically entire career minus last year. How has the transition kind of been being with Jackson, Gavin, and then Hunter bringing back?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's obviously huge. Returning a lot of guys, especially in the infield, is definitely really big for us. But we've gelled. Last year was huge, having those guys and just kind of talking to them and finding my way in. And then this year just playing with them, it's been. I mean, the way we've just gelled together and done everything is just huge.
Do you think you've made any particular kind of gains at the plate going into this season?
I've definitely switched a couple things, so I feel like I'm kind of swinging at better pitches and not. I feel like last year I kind of was just, swinging at some pitches, and I feel like this year, I know exactly what I'm looking for and trying to drive the ball a little bit more.
What's been the adjustment? Obviously, like you said, shortstop your whole career, but the adjustment between second and short for you.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, so playing shortstop your whole life, I feel like second base kind of comes naturally as well. So I feel like the switch would, either way, if you put Vandy at short or me at second, you know, I feel like either of us could do it. And I feel like it's really not that big of a difference. I feel like it's honestly easier at short a little bit because your momentum's kind of going towards first, whereas at second, you're kind of on your heels a little bit making plays. So I feel like it's good over there. I like it.
What was the mood when Gavin got his first hit?
Oh, that was awesome. We were so happy for him. That was just a great moment for him. He actually said something in the locker room. He was like, you know, I finally got my first barrel. So, you know, it's good for him to get out there.
What does it say about putting together that many runs without getting one out of the park?
Yeah, honestly, it's kind of weird. You know, we have a lot of guys that can obviously hit the long ball, but I think it's definitely something that's really going to help us, honestly, because we're showing ourselves that we don't need the long ball to still generate runs. So I think it's going to be big for us in the long run.
But it's so different from the way last year's team won.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, last year I feel like it was more of a kind of home run or strikeout kind of situation with some of the guys. So I feel like with us just putting the ball in play, you know, we find ourselves we're a little bit of a speedier team. So I feel like we give ourselves a better chance of finding ways to score that way, just putting the ball in play.
Maybe more discipline?
I mean, maybe a little bit, yeah. I feel like some of the drills we've been taking a lot more pitches and, you know, swinging at the right pitches. So just focusing on getting our A swings off.
You and Rom both seem to really be hitting the ball in the gap recently. What have you kind of seen from him?
He's really good. I feel like for him it's kind of just a mind. I don't want to speak for him, but I feel like it's kind of a mindset thing, and I feel like, you know, he kind of just has fun playing the game, and, you know, he swings, I mean, as hard as I've ever seen anybody swing every time. So I mean, he's just trying to hit the ball hard, and, you know, if it goes, it goes.
Two more. Can you talk a little bit more about the clutch hits, specifically to Tyson and Luke there in the bottom of the seventh?
Yeah, I mean, I think everybody's kind of just ready for the moment. You know, they step up in a big spot, and, you know, everybody expects them to succeed, and everybody's pulling for them. So I think they're just, you know, ready for the moment.
Thanks, Alex.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Alex.
Thank you.
So you almost got the first one there in the third inning to the warning track?
Yeah.
Did you think you had that one?
I hit it well, just got a little under it, so, but good swing, I guess.
Has the team talked about, hey, we haven't hit a home run yet? Is it bugging some people, or are you just not worried about it?
No, I mean, it's early. Obviously, we know we haven't, but we're winning ball games, and like kind of Alex said before, we're proving that we can generate runs without it, and we still have a lot of power threats on this team that are going to leave the yard, and we're just doing everything we can to win ball games.
What did you see from Folger, Cameron, and Maddie when they kind of started off maybe not their best and then really came back and responded?
All those dudes just compete, you know, whether they're on, whether they're not. I mean, I think they all had good stuff, and they're just, you know, figuring themselves out a little bit early on, but everyone that we threw out there competes their tail off. And that's what they did, and they were able to ease their way in and get outs with or without their best stuff.
You've been a freshman in a big situation before. What have you seen from Cameron tonight and then last weekend with McDuffie and Lynch coming in those big situations and being able to deliver?
They look confident. You know, like they came in, they all had good falls, good preseasons, and, you know, they step up there knowing that their stuff's better than the other guys, and they deliver. And, you know, I think they're going to be big for us, and they're confident day in and day out, and they compete, and that's all you can really ask for.
So Gavin get off the 0 streak there, and then Tyson had a big hit as well. Alex had a couple big hits. Just the offense without hitting the home runs, being able to score 12 runs against a team that was here to compete.
What was the question?
I said, just talk about the offense. My bad. Just talk about the offense not hitting the home runs.
Oh,
and
yes, same thing. Like it's early. Like we're just all trying to put good swings on balls, and every time that there's running in scoring position, we're doing everything we can to score them. You know, I mean, home runs are going to come. We're all going to hit home runs. It's going to come, and we're just looking to generate runs. And like I said, we're trying to win ball games. So.
But you know you're going to hit home runs, but it's not going to be like last season, it seems like, when you hit 115.
It might. I don't know. We'll see.
Did you and Folger have any kind of sentimental moments before today's game, your first time catching him in a start since he got injured last year?
Yeah, you know, we both knew it was his first start, and he came in this weekend, and I'm just happy for the kid. Like he worked really, really hard this whole year. Did everything he did everything he needed to and some. And we've all been pulling for him and Knapp, and I'm just glad to see him out there and competing again. So I'm happy for him.
Can you talk about Tyson? He obviously had a big hit before your big hit in the bottom of the 7th inning, and how he's kind of transitioning to the Division I level.
Yeah, no, I think he's doing a great job. You know, he's same thing. Came in, had a good fall, good preseason. I think he's an unbelievable hitter, and he got a pitch that he could handle, and big spot wasn't anything for him. He was used to it, and I think it's going to be exciting to watch.
Thanks, Luke.
Thanks,
Awesome.
Luke.
Thank you,
Thanks.
guys.